Hello, everyone. Welcome to our lecture this week. My lecture is going to be divided into several short clips on different parts of the whole lecture. So the topic for this week that we are going to be talking about is global media and global culture. And in particular, we'll be looking at how global media and global culture emerge in the context of globalization. So here are the objectives of the lecture this week. So we will be looking at definition and example of global media and globalization. We'll be distinguishing between globalization, localization, and interlocalization. Then we will look at the culture on the global media stage and the flow of information. Then we will be also looking at the experience in the global media. Toward the end, we'll be looking at the impact of globalization and the notions of time and space. And the last topic that we'll look at is the inequality of global media flow and censorship. So now let's get started. So first, we need to understand what global media is. And I think this excerpt is taken from the text of the course. And I wanted to draw your attention here. So global media can be understood as sources of mass communication that involve the transmission of messages, formats, programming, and content across national boundaries. Okay, and I think the key thing that you need to understand is the word across national boundary. Okay, because we are looking at the type of media that are viewed and are read, are listened to by people from different countries, from different culture. I think a good example would be movies from Hollywood, because although the movies are produced in the US most of the time, or sometime in the UK or in other locations, okay, but when they are in theater, they can be viewed by people from all over the world, regardless of the location they are, regardless of the language they speak. Another good example would be songs, because when songs are produced in English, and a lot of songs are produced in English and are listened to by a lot of people all over the world. I mean, if you think about famous singer like Justin Bieber, like Adele, like Rihanna, I think their songs are listened to by people from probably all countries in the world. So those are the example of global media. So it is the media that can reach people from any parts of the world across national boundaries. The second term that I think we need to understand is globalization. Okay, and globalization is the social, cultural, economic, and political integration of different parts of the world. Okay, so I mean, different parts of the world are becoming closer, okay, through the process we call globalization. So globalization is facilitated by the movement of goods, capital, ideas, and people among nations. And I think people is the important part, okay, in this movement. Okay? And so by definition, globalization has been taking place for as long as humans have moved, really. So, I mean, so at the fundamental level, when people move from one country to another country, and they bring something from their countries to the new country, it's the start the process of exchanging culture and things like that. Now, however, current globalization processes are more intense, okay, and I think this can be ascribed to two main things. First one is transportation. So we have plane, we have means of transportation where people can travel, and then we also have communication technology where people can stay connected, or people can understand what happenings in the other part of the world much more easily. And also important is the integration of the global economic system, which allows for more rapid circulation of people, ideas, and resources. You know, when countries are doing businesses together, it becomes much easier for ideas to be exchanged, for resources to be shared, and stuff like that. Now, why are we interested in these mediational means? Well, I think global media, they are tools that can facilitate action and communication. Okay, so there's, you know, the global media can influence what people do and how people communicate with one another. But okay, as they allow us to do things, they also shape and define us and how we think. Okay, I suppose a lot of the ideas that we are doing right now, you know, a lot of the things that shape who we are as a person right now are actually influenced by the media. And I want to draw your attention to one interesting concept, and this concept is called affordances. And affordances means that the ability of something that allow us to do another thing. Okay, so for example, if we take the example of the internet, right? So the affordances of the internet would be, it allows us to stay connected with other people. It allows us to go online and browse different websites and stuff like that. Okay, well, if you talk about the affordances of mobile phone, it allows us to you know, to call other people from anywhere that we are. It allows us to take pictures. It allows us to go on internet and browse for information. It allows us to take videos and stuff like that. So affordances mean what you can do with one piece of, not necessarily technology, but it can be a piece of anything. Like the tables allow us to put food on it. You know, the tables allow us to use it for studying and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the concept of affordances. And affordances, they do not need to be about technology. Okay, it's about ability to do something that, you know, that particular thing can do. Now, I would like to ask you to think about some of these questions. Okay, when we look at things from a cross-cultural perspective, there are a few things that the few questions that I want you to start thinking about. Okay, the first one is how the internet and how digital technologies are taken up by different people in different parts of the world. So, you know, I mean, how different people in different parts of the world, like in Thailand, in China, in Europe, and in America, are using technology. Okay. The second question that I want you to start thinking about is, what do different people make of the affordances of the internet? Okay, so, you know, how different people, I mean, it's not even just having to go abroad, really. If you're thinking about people in different generations, like people of our generations and people of your parents' generation, your grandparents' generation, I suppose they make use of internet in different ways, and the affordances of the internet actually allow them to do different things. The third question that I want you to think about is, what linguistic practices do people develop, okay, from engaging in these technology? And the last one is, what cultural practices actually emerge, okay, from this situation, right? So so this is a starting point, okay, and I will see you again in the next video.